Hello Targar friends, hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another Orc Mode workout, and today was Dynamic Effort Bench Press Day. A quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below, it would be greatly appreciated. Help me keep the likes higher than the dislikes. And over to the benching. I noticed when I looked at the footage here, the bands were a little loose at the bottom. It's because these bands are usually for squatting. These are really heavy bands. And they're still hitting really hard by 50%. But I'm going to need to get that adjusted a bit. And it's because of the buffalo bar. It comes further down at the ends. So it goes deeper relative to the band pegs. So I'll have to sort that next time. And I might just switch to a bigger stack of smaller bands just to get the tension. I was hoping to kind of get everything I wanted out of a single band on each side. But I'm trying to do 30% of my max. And with this bar, close grip, my max right now is 352, which is what I hit the other day. But we're doing a 5x5, and the speed was good though, right? Even for 5x5, good speed. Needs to be a little better. But we're running at 50% bar weight, 30% band tension. And I'm adjusting off of kind of some of the differences they've made over at Westside for their speed work in the last year or two. They've made some changes in the way they do it, and they're finding better and better results doing that. And so we always need to keep current with this stuff. And I think that's stuff that people need to be aware of when we're looking at a lot of these methods. Some of these percentages and methods change. And what I'm doing is specific for bands, right? This is for bands. This may not be ideal for raw weight, for straight weight. And bands are their own topic with all of this, and I think people forget that. The speed work with bands is not about the accommodation. Not entirely what it's about. Okay? There's a lot more going on. It's about slowing it down at the top. It's about the deceleration and learning to explode harder from the bottom. And it's to force a greater contraction at the bottom by the bands giving you an overspeed eccentric. So we're actually training to get more explosive in the first inch by doing what I'm doing with the bands here. So again, it's not always understood by people who don't understand the method, but it works. But yeah, this was felt intense. Although, like I said, I want to get the bands to kick in a little bit sooner so that we lose that slack at the bottom, so I'm going to have to make some adjustments. But overall, happy with it. Felt great. Good workout today, and you guys are going to notice I'm going to be complaining about shoulders a little bit. The pull-ups destroyed my shoulders, the ones I did the other day. I'm going to have to just accept it's going to be a very long time and possibly never before I can do pull-ups or chin-ups. They wreck my shoulders no matter what advice I take, what angles I take. So I'm going to have to keep working on the stuff that I know worked for my shoulder health before I threw that back in. And that's okay. Make it work. And they feel a lot better after the workout. Then I decided, what am I going to do? Because I'm doing band tricep work every single day, right? To work on my triceps instead of working on just the main days with the smaller movements. Let's just hit the bands every day. I'm doing over 20 sets a week. So I can focus on bigger, heavier movements for all of this. So I'm like, well, rather than me do the skull crushers, what can we do that's going to be a big compound that's going to work some chest and shoulders and other stuff? I'm like, dips against chains, right? And get them further enough in where I'm at close enough on there with my elbows back that it's a tricep dominant dip in theory. And then use chains. And it took me a bit to get the chain set up. But after this set, you guys will notice, that I just walk over and clip it on and back off. I got my chain set up good. It took me a couple work sets to really get it into flow. And I wanted to just do a 5x5 with a good challenging weight. And I can add from here. For those curious, I don't think this first set or two it was as heavy. And I know by the third set, so then the third, fourth, and fifth set, I had put 5 17.1 pound chains on. So that's basically 85 pounds of chains. Now people say, what are you going to do? You run out of chains because you can get strong on this pretty quick. Look at all the other chains laying around. I'm not going to run out of chains. We're fine. We're just fine, guys. I can throw another 70 pounds of chains on here if need be. And let's just be realistic here. If I get to where I'm doing 150 pounds of chains for a 5x5 on tricep dips, I'll be happy with that. Right? And I can always pull that up a notch. As you notice, there's still a little bit on the ground. I wasn't aware of that as I was doing it. I might be able to see if I can figure out a hair more adjustment. Way to pull that up a little tighter. see what I can do. It may not be easy because of the limits if I want to be able to just clip it on like I'm doing, adding a couple of inches. But it sure makes my life easier. And I could always add more chains to get around that. Or I could go up a notch higher on the thing. Right? We can go up one position as far as where I place the dip bars. So that's my other adjustment. Right? If we start needing to get more chain on here, we can always go higher. They felt good. Felt good. Felt a lot of chest, a lot of tricep both. And we need both, even though triceps are going to be a high priority for me. They're going to be a high priority, especially with me just going with close grip benching. But this is a good exercise to work in for now, and I'll rotate stuff around. You know, people will say the silly stuff, why don't you just stick with an exercise? Yeah, yet I keep getting stronger and stronger, and some of the guys who run this system, they get stronger and stronger. And many world record holding strength athletes use this system, and NFL players and everything else. So why should I? Why should I do something so silly instead of doing what works? Just rotate through movements, not a big deal. A lot of my 5-rep maxes I'm going to ramp up with stuff that's going to be slight variations each time. So we're just getting in and working the muscles with an appropriate RPE. And on that, I'll stick with it a few weeks. I'll mess with the chains a little bit. Overhead pressing, I've realized I really need to do the wider. Yes, it's harder. Yes, I can't lift as much weight. But my God, do I feel it. So let's come over and step away from all the max work and the speed work and even some of the really heavy fives I'm doing. Let's build some muscle in the right spots. Do some heavy fives using the wider grip and that axle bar. And it's harder. I can't move as much weight. I mean, that was hard. I did a 3x5 with that, and they were challenging. On the last set, though, I went ahead and squeezed out a 6-rep. But I feel so much more shoulder and upper chest both. Right? And when I say shoulder, I mean side delts, trap, all that. When I do them with a narrow grip, I feel so much more interior deltoid. Maybe even a little more tricep. But we've got to come over to the point of I need more chest and delt and everything else. And it's still working all those muscles. And then we're hammering the triceps anyways. All right, my triceps are getting hammered. Especially with the band work every day. Especially on the off days, like I did 5 sets yesterday. Well, not an off day. Non-training days. For GPP days, restoration days. Because I did sled drags, reverse hypers, triceps, rear delts. And I'm doing tons of band pull aparts. So that's going to be a high priority. I'm not as worried about building so much lat at this point. I'm just going to do the wide grip Pendlay rows. Get just enough sets to get good stimulation, but to make sure we're working the traps, rear delts, all of that. And we're going to go heavy on it. And then I'll do tons of the band pull aparts like I'm doing. And I'm doing those now with an underhand grip because all this other stuff we have, internal rotation of the shoulder. So that I can externally rotate the shoulder, I'm doing those. So I don't want people to think I'm not doing a ton of rear delt and tricep, because we are. But it's being done spread out every day. Being done every day. But with these, we're still focused on upper back more. Right? We want to keep building the whole upper back. Traps, rear delts, rhomboids, infraspinatus, all that stuff. It's all just got to be overdeveloped. And I need tons more of it. So I did a 6x6 with these. You can't see the smaller plates, but I went up a little bit. But again, the snatch grip rows. So we've got to keep hammering the upper back and rear delts. Very, very high priority. For again, creating a stable platform to bench from, keep my shoulder health on point. That's what has to be done. But we care about the other things. We care about pecs and front delts and all that, so we're training all that. But then the triceps are going to get a little more priority. They need to be a priority. Because we know that's even my weak link now on benching. Even that 352 close grip with the buffalo bar, we saw that little bit of tricep at the top. Which tells me that if my triceps were stronger, that could have been a 365. Right? That needs to be a next benchmark to reach for. It's a 365 bench. We'll get it this summer. We will get it. If I can get my triceps stronger. And all this helps with triceps, all the other stuff I'm doing. It helps triceps, not just the band work. I mean, all this other pressing. speed work of bands, the close grip work for heavy fives after the max day, even the overhead pressing. But then we're doing tons and tons and tons of band work to build that work capacity. And if I need to, I'll work more specific tricep work back in on these days, JM presses or whatever. It's fine. But we've been hammering the triceps, and we have to keep hitting them from different angles. Keep building the work capacity, keep building the strength, keep building the size there. All right? They're a weak link, and they've got to come up. But we also need to keep developing the upper back, keep developing the biceps. And I actually had a clown post today, you need to work more on your biceps. I'm like, no, I'm working just enough on my biceps. Like, explain how this works. Just because you think I need to add more volume doesn't mean I'm going to grow faster because you think I need to. That's why you're not a coach. I am working on them. We're working on all of it. But triceps are a higher priority. But triceps and rear delts are going to be an ultra high priority. So is hamstrings. So are erectors. That's the stuff that I hammer the hardest in between these main workouts. Right? But it's all smaller stuff. It's not. I don't care about getting any of it on camera. I just don't care. Same thing with the sled work. I've had people say, "Oh, you bought a sled, but if you don't show it, you're just not doing it." I don't care. You guys see 4 workouts a week. I have the most accountability of any lifter on the entire internet in recorded history. And people can say, "Oh, that's delusional." No, it's actually not. I can prove it, and that's the difference. I'm the only person who records all of their main workouts. I even recorded tons of my cardio and conditioning sessions. It's all here. You cannot debate that fact. That is, anyone who says otherwise can be proven to be a liar. Not speculated, proven. Because the proof is all here on the channel. And I did 4 sets of 6 on these easy bar curls. Finish my biceps off, make sure they get the heavy work. And again, it's all mostly 5s and 6s these days. Because that's what I need. I want to get the heavy tension. Moderately high volumes with heavy tension. Tons of tension. Shifting a lot of the supplemental work in that direction. I think it's going to work quite well. My strength has been going up since I've been doing it. So it seems to be working in general. And then we save all the really high rep work for all the in-between workouts. Right? All the little mini workouts. Restoration work. And a lot of that's like 30 reps. A lot of it's like 30 rep sets. For, again, band press downs, band pull aparts, reverse hypers, it's all high reps. So we're getting the work in there, but it's being hit just on certain muscles, ones that really and truly need it. Not everything needs that. And I also started throwing in a little bit of bodyweight box jumps again. And I'm not going to go through it where I start doing weighted box jumps and go as high as possible. It's not worth it. I already got hurt once. Took me 2 months to regrow the skin on my shins after that. It's not worth it. But I can still jump to build power. Still jump to build quads. That with the sled drags, my quads are sorted. I'll build all the quad that I need to squat 600 plus just doing that. So then we can focus on all the other stuff that matters. But back to the upper body. Hit everything we needed to hit today. And these don't necessarily need to be as long because the reps are shorter, so the workouts tend to look shorter on a set per set basis. Same thing if I'm doing 5x5 or speed work, it's a lot less sets. It just goes through quicker. These workouts are going to look a hair shorter with some of it. And the squats are going to be the same way. We're going to do 5x5 squats, and then we'll do singles on deadlifts. And some people are like, "Oh, you're cheating a bit on these." Yes, I am. Because you know what? All the strict curls in the world never built me big biceps. Let's go back to this stuff. Worked for me many years ago. It'll work again. But good workout. Happy with everything. Couple minor adjustments to make as far as the equipment with some of the exercise variations. I'll sort it out next time. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.